April 14th, 1912, 11:40 p.m. The heat never left the lower decks. Even at night, even after hours of shoveling coal into mouths of fire, the air stayed thick. It clung to your skin, crawled into your lungs, reminded you that the ship moved because men like us fed it. I had stopped checking the time. Down here, time didn't matter. Only rhythm did. Shovel, lift, throw, step back, breathe, repeat. The engines answered us with a steady pulse, a sound you felt more than heard. That night, the pulse changed. Not enough to stop the work, enough to make my hands pause midair. My name is Thomas Hale. No one above deck ever knew it. To them, we were shadows below their feet, faces streaked with soot, voices swallowed by steam. But the ship knew us. The ship listened to our hands. And that night, the ship was in trouble. A shudder passed through the floor plates. Coal dust lifted into the air like a black mist. One of the men cursed. Another laughed it off. Just the Atlantic reminding us who's boss. Someone said. I didn't laugh. The engines didn't either. I pressed my palm against the steel wall. It vibrated unevenly now, like a heart skipping a beat. Heat poured off it, but underneath the heat was something colder. Fear doesn't always feel like panic. Sometimes it feels like recognition. Water found us quietly. At first it was only a sheen on the deck plates, reflecting the orange glow of the furnaces. It looked harmless, like sweat. But sweat doesn't climb. This did. A supervisor came down the ladder 2 steps at a time, boots ringing too loudly. He didn't shout. Men who shout are still pretending. Keep the fires going, he said. As long as we can. As long as we can what? Someone asked. He didn't answer. We kept working, because stopping meant admitting something none of us wanted to say out loud. The water reached my boots. Cold. Sharp. The kind of cold that doesn't ask permission. Steam hissed where it touched the heat. The sound filled the space like a warning breath. Pumps are on, the supervisor said, though his eyes kept drifting to the rising line. They'll hold. That was the lie we needed. Above us, passengers were still drinking, still laughing, still believing in schedules. Down here, we were buying them time with our hands, coal by coal, shovel by shovel. I thought about my hands then, about how they'd always been useful, and nothing else. I'd crossed an ocean because someone needed hands. I'd stayed alive because I kept them moving. One of the younger men slipped. The water took his footing and sent him down hard. He laughed, embarrassed, then stopped laughing when he felt the cold soak through his trousers. Jesus, he whispered. No one answered. We all knew what that cold meant. Another order came down. Sharper now. Maintain pressure. Maintain pressure. As if pressure was a choice. The ship groaned above us. Not a scream. A complaint. Steel arguing with water. I looked toward the ladder. For a moment, just a moment, I thought about climbing, about asking someone above what was happening, about saving myself. Then I looked at the gauge. The needle trembled. If we stopped, the lights would go. If the lights went, panic would arrive early. People drowned faster in the dark. So we stayed. The water climbed past my ankles, then my calves. Each step became heavier, slower. The heat and cold fought inside the room, turning the air into something hard to breathe. A man shouted from the far side that a door had been closed somewhere above. Someone else shouted back that another had opened. The ship was sealing itself, compartment by compartment, like a wounded animal trying not to bleed. Orders from the bridge, the supervisor said, voice hoarse. We stay until they tell us otherwise. No one asked what otherwise meant. I thought about the men above, about women in coats, children clutching hands, lifeboats creaking. I thought about how they would never know our names. That was fine. Names float. Work sinks. The water was at my knees now. My legs burned from the cold. Every breath tasted like iron and coal dust. Another man stumbled and didn't get up right away. Two of us grabbed him, hauled him back to his feet. Go, he said suddenly, eyes wide. They'll need you up there. I shook my head. They need the lights. He stared at me like I'd spoken a foreign language. Maybe I had. The supervisor checked the gauge again. The needle dipped, then steadied. 5 minutes, he muttered. Maybe. 5 minutes can be a lifetime. Or nothing. The ship leaned. Subtle, but undeniable. Water surged higher. Angry now. Impatient. Steam roared as it met heat. The noise swallowed thought. That's when the final order came. Not shouted. Spoken quietly. Those who can go, the supervisor said. Go. He didn't look at me when he said it. He knew. I looked at the ladder again. Then at the gauge. Then at the men still working. Faces streaked with soot and sweat. Eyes reflecting fire. If one of us left, the load shifted. If too many left, everything failed. I stayed, not because I was brave, because I understood the math. One by one, men climbed. Some hesitated. Some didn't. No one judged. Judgment was useless now. The water reached my thighs. The gauge shook. I shoveled faster. My arms screamed. My lungs burned. The room tilted further. Somewhere above, a deep crack echoed through the ship like thunder. I knew what that sound meant. Time was almost gone. The supervisor looked at me then, finally. Go, he said. I shook my head once. Someone has to keep it alive, I said. He didn't argue. He just nodded. The lights flickered. Once. Twice. Then steadied. I smiled. Not because I was happy. Because it worked. For a little while longer. The water surged suddenly, knocking me sideways. I caught myself on the wall, fingers slipping on wet steel. Cold tore into my legs like teeth. The gauge dipped sharply. I threw the last shovelful with everything I had. The needle rose. Above us, people screamed. The sound reached us late, filtered through steel and water, but unmistakable. The end had found them. I stepped back, chest heaving, water pressing hard now. The lights stayed on. That was enough. I turned toward the ladder, and then the ship tilted again, harder this time. I grabbed the railing. Steel screamed. Water roared. The world narrowed to cold and noise, and the taste of rust. As I climbed, the lights finally went out. Darkness swallowed everything. But above, for a few more minutes, lifeboats lowered in light we had given them. That was our job. That was always our job. The Titanic didn't just sink because it hit ice. It sank because men like us ran out of time. But for a while, because we stayed, others didn't.